Welcome to the podcast. Yeah. Welcome to the podcast. Yeah. I'm not here to entertain your trauma or decorate pain with punchlines. I'm here to tell it the way it happened before time. Smooth out the hard lines. This podcast ain't about perfection, it's about perspective, about saying the parts out loud. Most people leave out for protection. I talk family loss, growth, accountability, the quiet moments nobody claps for, the decisions that change you long before anybody asks more.
Welcome to Say It Anyway, where we keep it real, unfiltered, and say things most people are scared to admit. I'm your host, Boogs, and today we're talking about survival mode. What it really looks like, what it feels like, and how many of us are living without even realizing.
Hey everybody, it's Jazz. And we're about to get into it real good today. We got a good conversation coming up to you guys, so stay tuned.
Yes, we do. Now, how you doing? How's your weekend going today, Jazz?
It's good. It's good. The weather's breaking a little bit here in New York. It played with us today. It got a little warm. Then it got cold again, so I'm over it. But that's all right.
Very unpredictable, man. It's cold and
it's kind of crazy, but I'm here for it.
All right.
How's your weekend going?
Oh, my weekend? It's saying there. I'm spending it real good with the kids.
Okay, dad time is always good.
That's right. I'm loving it. But so let me ask you this: have you ever felt like you were getting through a day instead of actually living?
Absolutely. So just existing.
Yeah. So why do people feel like they have to pretend they're okay? You know, you think that's something that we like forced to do?
Honestly, I think it's cultural.
Think it's cultural?
I think it's cultural. I think as growing up in Black culture, as young kids, right, we're taught to be seen and not heard. And then we become adults and we're never taught how to be heard and seen respectfully.
True. So you think it's like a fear of just being seen as weak?
It can be. It could be fear, especially for Black men, right? Like you all don't want to seem weak or like, you know, you taught as young boys, the minute a tear drops, it's like, yo, toughen up. You a boy. You're not supposed to be doing all of that. And then as girls, we're taught that we're complaining when the reality is, what if I'm just venting? What if I'm just having a conversation about my day and what I went through? Not necessarily complaining, but just venting. And we get mislabeled so often from our own people, right? Family members, peers, colleagues, things like that. So I think
it's like, sorry to cut you off, but it's like, who do you look up when that happens, you know?
Well, back in the day, right, we used to look up the big mama in them, right? I remember back in the day, you go talk to your grandparents or the elders, and that was what was so golden about grandparents was they had time. See, our parents didn't have time because they working and they figuring out and they got all the bills and this. But when you went to go sit with grandma, your great aunts and your uncles and the elders, they had time. They had time to listen. They had time to pour into you. And they didn't listen just to give you a response. They really listened to understand where you were coming from and to provide a safe space.
Exactly. Talking about time. Can you remember a time you smiled in public but was going through it privately?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember there were times in college and I went to Howard, but it were times where you could be in a room full of people and feel so alone or like nobody understands you and nobody gets it. I remember I used to cry every weekend my freshman year that I would want to come home because I thought I was missing something. I'm like, man, I want to go home. I don't feel like I fit in. It was like everybody was smart. Everybody was pulling good grades and I was struggling.
I know. It's the fake I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the happiest thing people carry on. Like, just ended.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I struggled because, like, you know, my mom is an administrator. She has her doctorate. And my dad had a really good job on the police force. So it was like, if I call home and I complain about my struggles, like, are they going to tell me to come home? And, you know, like, I can't be in school. Like, there's always a fear behind being vulnerable. And I think that's just a human thing. Right. So I think we got to get more transparent with each other and provide these safe spaces to just be who you are authentically, good, bad, or indifferent.
There were so many people judge, but see, that's where I come in and I go, you know, they can judge all they want, but, you know, whatever you feel and whatever your heart tells you, you know, just say it anywhere. I'm not instead of hiding it. You know, it's like, is that really be weak? We always have.
It is. There's absolutely a time. There's a time for everything. You just have to make the time worth the time, right? But so it's interesting. You just said, just say what you want to say. But what happens when what you want to say offends somebody?
Oh shit!
Or what happens when your timing is wrong and it's off? Like, does timing matter when it comes to saying what you want to say and just getting it off your chest?
That's a good question. I don't think I even thought that through. I didn't think
Mm.
that's crazy. I didn't think that through, Jack.
And I realized a lot of men don't think that question through. A lot of men just feel like I gotta say it, I gotta get it off my chest. It's the manly thing to do. Because if you don't divulge, if you don't say certain things, it comes off as cowardly if that's really how you feel and you don't say it in that moment. But what happens when what you're gonna tell me in that moment I can't receive because I don't have the capacity? What happens when your partner comes home and they're having a rough day, but you had a rough day too? So now I can't really be the shoulder for you to cry on because my day was a little bit more overwhelming than yours. What do we do then?
Yeah, I mean, do you say anything? Do y'all just sit in a room across each other and mute?
So what I do is I ask, whether it's my partner, my friends, family, I always ask, do you have the capacity for me to dump on you? Can I dump on you? Because then you're giving me the green light to just go ahead versus me just going in and just saying what I need to say. Because you may not have the mental space for my bullshit today.
It's true. Yeah, that's true. And I could tell you as a man, some days it's just overwhelming where it's like, not now, shorty, please.
Right.
But then, you know, and then
Right. So
me, just I say things that I probably shouldn't be saying at that moment because I'm frustrated. I'm having a hard day like her. In her case, she want to vent. Me, I just want peace. Think
yeah,
through. Yeah.
emotional intelligence is real, and knowing. I always tell my partner like to test the temperature. Because I do that. I'm gonna test the temperature. I want to see how your day was going. Did you walk in this house and you not your normal self? Are you happy? Are you a little aggravated? What's going on with your vibe? Before I just start dumping, and that's something cultural as well too, right? I remember again back in college, I didn't realize my mother was a human being till I got to college. Mom is a superhero. Once you're given that title of mom and you're an active parent, you are a superhero. You're supposed to drop everything. It's all about these kids. It don't matter what kind of day you had, work, the bills, none of that. When your kid needs you, the kid needs you, right? And when the husband needs you, the husband needs you. But we're all human beings. Mom could have had a bad day. Mom could not be feeling right, but we're not taught that. We're taught, I'm the kid, you're the adult, I'm your responsibility. What I need is president.
True. I totally agree on that. Do you think being strong, like being the strong one, is actually like hurting people in like the long term? Like on your case?
It can. You know when it hurts people? When you always have to be the strong one. Because when you're always the strong one, who do you turn to? When do you utilize your village?
True. Yeah, that's
And that burden is serious, right? Like that burden of, oh my God, I have to always have the right answer. I always have to be the go-to person. No, you don't. No, you don't. Look, the illest thing I've learned as an adult, as a female, a black female adult in this world is I am allowed. Just those simple words. I am allowed. I'm allowed to be unhappy. I'm allowed to be sad. I'm allowed to be overwhelmed. I'm allowed to be frustrated. I am allowed.
I like that. I ain't never heard that before.
Yeah, I think that's something we should all, and as men, take that with you guys too. All the men that are out there listening, all the women, take that with you that you are allowed. You're allowed to have a bad day. You're allowed to have a bad moment. Some days you got to live moment to moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you got to give yourself that grace. And growing up in the 80s and the 90s, especially if you lived in a big city, hustle mentality was real. Everybody, and then when Diddy came out with his campaign, right? Hustle or go home and all of that, like hustle hard. We have this mentality of always being on hustle mode. Your hustle mode is exhausting.
Yeah, is that survival mode too? Is that like?
Yes, it is. It is, especially as women, because as women, we got in the hustle mode, right? And when we go into school and careers and husbands and babies and this and that. So now you in hustle mode and you're trying to continuously level up. And sometimes as women, we misconstrue leveling up with being masculine. You can level up and be feminine. You can level up. And now, don't get me wrong, you got to keep that that as I call it, gutting this in your back pocket in case you got to pull that out.
Overcompensate though, if there's a man around to take care of that, then
Right. Exactly.
right.
Exactly. So you gotta have you have to have a really good balance. And you gotta know when to turn that on and turn that off. Because survival mode can honestly, it can kill you.
Yeah, it can cause a lot of stress because you
Absolutely.
that you really can't handle. It's almost like, why is it easier for you to show up for everybody, but you can't show up for yourself? Like, you know what I'm saying? And
So I have a question for you.
Which,
As a man,
right.
can you give me one time in your life where you felt like you were in survival mode, and how did you get out of it?
Okay. Something more recently. The time, okay, when I came home, February of 2025, the first, that I was in survival mode. And how I got through that was it was a mental thing. I had to stay mentally positive because I learned that the mind controls the brain and the brain controls the body. So the mind is everything. So I had to really focus on what my abilities was, which is why I kind of started doing content and opening up and talking, because can't always hold it in. So I had to say things anyway, whether sometimes it made people uncomfortable, but I had to get off my chest because me holding it in and bottling it up, it just made me feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So I had to be in survival mode, and it caused it kind of made me break down in a way. You know what I'm saying? Sitting around how to get this all together. I got these children I got to take care. I got rent. I got a lot of things. I got my hand messing up because of social security disabilities. It's just it's a thing where it feels like I'm basically worthless. But I had, I felt worthless. Like I felt like there's nothing I can do. I'm taking the L. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I try not to put so much time on it and still be positive and use my kids as my strength, my kids, and just talking to them. And they kind of got me they got me out of that storm. So,
do you feel like as a grown man that you have a safe space, or you have some type of, whether it's a person or something that can help you come out of that? Like when you need it, of course. Like if you need somebody to talk to, if you need somebody to vent to, do you have that as a man?
as a man, no. As a man, I've been told to kind of you kind of keep it bottled up. Men don't show emotion,
So just grin and bear it.
Yeah, you fake the smile. You fake the smile, and you fake it till you make it.
So in those moments, what do you think you need? Or you said you have boys. Are you teaching them how to be each other's safe space?
Yeah, honestly, I haven't yet.
Okay.
I think I'm still in the process because I don't want to come off as too soft in a way because they know dad to be that strong guy. So when I say things like safe space, they probably already sound like mom. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want them to.
Nah, you just know. You know what you're doing? You're going to break the cycle. So you're going to break that cycle of, I didn't feel like I had nobody. Nah, because guess what? Nobody gets through this by themselves. I don't care who you are. Nobody. Not even people that's locked up behind bars. They got people behind those bars, whether it's the chaplain, it's the CEO, it's somebody. Ain't none of us getting through this by ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. Just going through the motions.
Yeah, especially your boys. Because guess what? Once dad is gone, y'all got to lean on each other. Y'all got to fend for each other.
True. Well, I do teach them to stick together and have each other's back. My story is it's a little complicated in a way. I got 5 baby mamas, right? And I got 6.
Okay.
So, but I'm family oriented, and I keep that bond together. You know what I'm saying? So,
I love that.
The safe space, if you know what, I didn't teach it. I just say I showed it. So maybe I led it by example. So maybe I can check the answer up and go, maybe, yeah, I think I did do it by just showing that family is everything and sticking together. You know what I'm saying? And that family is a safe space that no matter what, you can always come to family. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, yeah, I would say family and staying in touch with family.
Yeah, I think that's that's very big, right? And I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people who think you can, in my mind, you could choose your family. And I know people like, no, you can't. You born into your family.
Well, yeah,
But I feel like you can choose your family.
you don't have to be blood to be family, you know.
Right.
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 But, and I'm sure a lot of people know that, and they can agree. You know what I'm saying? That you don't need, like, because we got brothers and we all have siblings, but we also have friends on the outside that didn't come from mom and dad that we'll probably fight for just as fast as we would the big brother that's on the top bunk in the household. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That you know what I mean? But it's that genuine love and just that bond and connection and that basic understanding and respect that y'all have for one another. You know what I'm saying? And it builds that,
Absolutely.
you know? But yeah, you know, but you know,
Do you ever feel like we get out of survival mode? Is that something we just have forever?
yeah, it's forever. I think I
It's not for me.
it's not for
It's
you.
not. No, it's not. Let me tell you why it's not. Because I'm in survival mode now because I'm pivoting some things in my life, career wise, and all of that. But before that, no, I was so deep in my feminine era, my soft girl era, my not because to me, survival mode means I'm always on go. Survival mode means that's the hustle mentality. Survival mode to me is uncomfortable because I'm surviving and I'm not just living. I want to be able to just live. I want to be able to be happy and just live. I'm okay with that at this stage in my life. I've done so many things. I've done a lot of the things that I've wanted to do that, and I'm happy to see more Black women embracing their soft girl era. We don't got to be hard no more. We ain't got to do none of that. Like, we okay. I don't got to talk to you crazy like I'm a 90s rapper out here. I ain't got to be DMX to my man. Like, I'm okay
Yeah, we don't want no
being
girl
super soft.
yeah, for real. We like soft girls, man. I feel like women are the ones that teach us how to love you also, you know. So
That's deep. Elaborate on that.
yeah, but, well, because we the first woman we know is mom. And she feeds us, she clothes us. You know what I'm saying? And as men we mess up. We always do things, you know what I'm saying? But some women have to just let men mess up until we learn that we messed up. And eventually we come around letting them know that, yeah, you was right. But you have to be a grown man, take accountability in order for that to happen, you know?
Absolutely.
Women, yeah, like if you, all right, for example, your mom and your son does something. You love your son unconditionally, but you're not going to give up on him. That's how we know mom loves her son no matter what. So if he messes up, she's not going to disown him. You see what I'm saying? We kind of, as men, I feel like we kind of need that from our women. It doesn't justify that we keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting her to keep.
Okay, that's I'm about to say that part. Okay.
Yeah. Let me clear that up. So we're not tolerating that. So yeah, move on if son keep playing games. You hear that, ladies? Move on. You know what I'm saying? But don't be so quick. You know, teach him that I'm down for you. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we feel we don't get that. We have to like you know we have to show that strength. We too tough. And sometimes when we show that emotion, it get thrown in our face. So that emotion or mentioning certain things that we may be going through mentally or whatever it is, we learn to hide that, real hide. I mean, but I learned to go, you know what, I'm saying it anyway, and I don't care how she feel about it. This is what's on my heart. This is how I'm feeling. It has to. I got to say what I got to say.
Yeah, I like the way that you put that. And I also want to add on the flip side of it, from the woman's perspective, men don't always come with the line of, well, my mother did it, or my mother did this, or my mother did that. I'm not your mother.
Yeah,
And just because your mother went through it and you may not have seen her cry, you may not have seen her complain, it doesn't mean she wasn't. It just wasn't to you because you were a child.
that's true. And she just knew how to hide her personal or things that
That's a fact.
you. I mean, she just knew how to keep that away. You know what I'm saying? Now you have some people who just don't care. Everything is frontline. It's not like uncensored. Everything is there, right in front of you. No privacy. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So how do you suggest we go about our day to day with being seen and heard, or when we are in survival mode, what are some things that you would suggest to our listeners that could help them cope?
Cope with it. Can you repeat it one more time?
I said, what are some things that you would suggest to our listeners to help them cope?
with their personal like problems or how to deal with.
Yeah, like how we started off talking about, you can be in a world and just be existing, and you're going through something but you can't say it, or you're in survival mode and you think you're by yourself. Like, is there something specific? You learned how to cope with it.
Hmm. Well, number one, I would just say God first. Always involved with you and walk with him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't always been focused on that part, but the life that I lived and where I'm at now, got to keep God around. You need him around. He's always there, but you guys got to keep talking to him. And he'll guide you.
Amen.
I'm not sure if I can really elaborate on that because I don't want to speak for all men on how to think because my method may not work for everybody's method. But God. So if you ever struggling, you pray. You pray and you ask for it. And when you do ask for what you ask for, and you don't really know, but it's like you ask for strength, you may ask for courage, but God will put you in situations where you need to be strong. And it might be an uncomfortable situation where the strength needs to be played. And it is a job, it might be your baby mama, could be a death. You ask to be courageous or courage, or ask to have courage. He'll put you in situations to be courageous. You know what I'm saying? And you don't understand it, but the message comes in a way that will make you uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? But there's a message in it. There's a lesson in everything we go through, I learn.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I like those. Those are great takeaways.
Just keep God first. If I had to just narrow it down and be blunt with it, one word, God first. 2 words, God first. God first. Always God first. So, but never leave a person that you love or that you care about with words that you feel like you got to say. Don't ever leave them with like words left like something that's unsaid. Always let them know how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I feel like that. You should always let them know how you feel. That way you have a better understanding on how you control whatever relationship you may have going on, or whether you agree to disagree to separate. But if you don't say anything, you can be around each other and y'all really don't like each other. But everybody's figured it. You know what I'm saying? That's survival mode. And we're doing it with friendships too. And it's causing a lot of frustration and pain.
I agree. And I'll even elaborate on that, a lot of times we see in friendships and relationships, right? If I brought up a grievance that I have with you, Boogs, you now want to go back and rebut and be like, well, since we're talking about it, you did blah, 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 blah. And now it's tit for tat. And I think when we do that, we get nowhere.
It's a loop. It's a loop.
Yeah, like if we're gonna talk about you, then let's talk about you. We can talk about me when that comes up. But in this moment, if this is the issue at hand, then let's talk about it so that we can move forward and find a resolve. But I think that's a big part that we have to work on as a people, right? Is that back and forth, that just because I brought something up about you, that doesn't really mean this is the time for you to bring up your issue with me unless it's involving the same situation. Like you said, now we just on a loop and now we just going back and forth and we're not really getting anywhere. There's no progress being made here.
No healing.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big one. Say that again. Lord, healing.
Yeah.
Trauma is real.
It's trying to heal in the same environment that hurt you. And it's not happening. You know what I mean? So it's like, can you really though? Matter of fact, can you really heal in the same place that hurt you? Thinking about it?
I'm going to say no. And the reason I say that is because your mindset has to be so different to heal. To come up out of trauma is real and it's powerful, right? And healing hurts. Healing is, we all know the stages of healing, right? When you go in and if you had surgery to heal and recovery, when you have surgery is quiet. It takes time.
Then what caused you to actually feel?
Absolutely.
The healing may be, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to be able to heal from your trauma. I absolutely agree. And I think that's a part of being in survival mode. Some of us, that's the trauma from what you grew up in. Lack of money, lack of finances, lack of education, lack of resources. And some of us are so fixated on survival that you're just always running, trying to be 2 steps ahead of the trauma to make sure you don't fall back into what you've overcome.
True. Like so. Like question. Like so. How do you like overcome that? Like, so, like
Well, first you got to realize the trauma. And then you got to, for me anyway, I have to realize the trauma and I have to realize the triggers. Like, what's causing that? Like, what's causing me to, and then a lot of times your trigger, you go right back to the same age that the trauma happened. So you could be 40, but you're going to revert back to that 17-year-old hurt little girl. And that was me. Like, in a relationship, if I felt like I was being done wrong or, and it didn't even have to be to no crazy magnitude, but I would result back to the 20-year-old hurt me that was being done crazy in a relationship. And it's like, damn, girl, it wasn't that bad. He forgot to take the chicken out. Like, how you go all the way back? Like, you chill, Jazz, you wildin'. But I had to realize that was me. Like, and my trigger would be before they just get up and go walk away because I knew how crazy it would get, right? So for me, you gotta acknowledge it and you gotta know what the trigger is. You gotta know and tell your partner what it is that pushes your buttons.
true. So you basically, because from that point, you just want to grow, right?
Absolutely.
Rob, so do you have to leave the people or the places that you're in to grow, or do you think
You may not necessarily have to fully leave, but isolation is real. And isolation, and see, that's what I loved about COVID. COVID made all of us sit with ourselves. I don't care who you were.
Yeah.
COVID had you sit with yourself, and you couldn't hide from who you were during COVID.
you figured out that you love what is it? What is that? That them cartoons, anime. Figured out
Right.
during COVID you love anime and chocolate milk with cookies and or let me say
Right.
it's like you're
Right.
learning you because we've been conditioned so long just to live this 24-hour, 8-hour sleep, 8-hour work. Then we got 8 hours to split up between, and we didn't even wash clothes. We didn't do dishes. When do you really
That's right.
sit down and think, who am I? What is going on? Why am I doing this? You see what I'm saying? Like, nobody really had time to think. You know what I'm saying? Like, who?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like when, and just because you've acknowledged what it is that'll get you there, doesn't mean it's not going to still show up. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have issues because it's a part of it. But every time you have to learn a lesson of, okay, I shouldn't have handled this way. I could have said this instead of that. My tone, my timing. As long as you're learning, as we're progressing,
Right.
I'm okay with that. I can live with that. I can take anybody. And I also tell my kids all the time, and this goes back to what you originally said, where you just got to say what you got to say. Sometimes my kids have to just say what they got to say, no matter how blunt it is. Don't be disrespectful, but guess what? If you got to curse about it, I'm okay with that in the moment because as long as your intention wasn't to curse me out, right? What was your intention? Was your intention to say, damn, all right, cool, and it's showing your emotion? I'm okay with that because that's the intention. Now, mind you, my kids are older, but that to me, intentions are huge for me. What is your intention behind what you're doing? Was your intention to hurt me? Is you just not know how to say it? Everybody doesn't know how to communicate. We weren't all taught that.
Because we're in survival mode.
That's right. And then that's the other part. Now I got to sit and think, oh my God, are you in survival mode and you just are not conscious of other things? Are you tunnel vision because you're in survival mode? It's like if you have a birthday coming up and your friend is like, yo, I can't really come. I'm saving up. I'm trying to get this house. Are you really going to get offended? No, you shouldn't. They're saving up. They gave you the reason why it is what it is. So to me, intentions are huge.
That's true. That's true. You got to have the right intentions or look at the situation in order to figure things out. You know what? I got these 5 topics that, how I get through a lot of these things when it comes down surviving. I have the 5, it's called like the 5 saying. It's look at your situation clearly, expand the possibilities, evaluate and decide, know what you want and then act on it. And when I feel you take those 5 steps and you apply it to the mood that you're in or what you're going through or the environment that's surrounding you that's causing you to feel like you're just existing and not actually living in, you're always in survival mode, I feel like that'll get you through. So for my listeners, these 5 steps, try it. And I mean with your job, your relationships, it'll help you really sit back and analyze things a little bit better before you make decisions that can cause someone to actually harm themselves because of what you possibly say. So yeah, say it anyway, but say it with compassion. Say it with things that makes people feel like they can come to you and talk to you and not feel like they have to always be guarded. You know? So
I love that. And I think that was a perfect way to end the segment. Say it anyway. With the five, recap that again. What was the 5 points?
well, okay, well, look at the situation clearly, expand your possibilities, evaluate and decide, know what you want, and then act on it.
All right, I love that.
Man, so
Come on, drop the knowledge on them, Bugs.
I'm trying. I just don't think you can lose with that. So, my peoples and the listeners, at the end of the day, a lot of us aren't living. They're surviving. And if you see yourself in any of this, just know you're not alone. This is Say It Anyway, where we speak the real, whether it's comfortable or not. I'm Boogs.
And I'm Jazz.
Welcome to the
And we'll catch you on the next one.
I'm not here to entertain your trauma or decorate pain with punchlines. I'm here to tell it the way it happened before time. Smooth out the hard lines. This podcast ain't about perfection, it's about perspective, about saying the parts out loud. Most people leave out for protection. I talk family loss, growth, accountability, the quiet moments nobody claps for. The decisions that change you long before anybody asks more. Yeah, no beats, but